Have you ever felt like you're just not enough? Like no matter how hard you try, it's never quite good or successful or perfect enough. It's a feeling that can creep up on you when you least expect it. Well, you're not alone. I have been there, and we've all been there in some way, shape, or form. And if you say, no, not me, it's probably something you don't recognize yet. And how do I know that? Because it's exactly what we discussed today in today's video, the feeling of being inadequate. Why this feeling is among one of the most experienced universal feeling of lack that exists in our human experience, and what to do with not being enough. I am Coach Soul. Welcome to our Performance Edge Weekly Wisdom, where spirit drives performance. In today's topic, we'll discuss one of the most universal, important, limiting feelings that most human beings experience. Am I enough? Do I fit in? Am I capable? Do I belong? Am I perfect? Am I worth it? Am I valuable? What to do with not being enough? In today's topic, I will share with you in 3 parts. In the first part, I will share with you the root causes of a feeling of inadequacy. Why is it the most universal feeling of lack that is shared across all culture among our human species? Second, I will share with you why that feeling can creep up on you when you least expect it and how to be conscious of it when it arises. Third, I will share with you a new total paradigm that will enable you to be equipped forever so that you can address this feeling, because I will address it with a new model on how humans operate that will make you understand why you struggle with not being enough. And I highly encourage that you watch this till the end, because it's going to be new paradigm shift. So, you ready? Let's jump in. So why that feeling of being inappropriate is prevalent in our human experience? Very simple. It is deeply rooted in our survival as human species. Yes, as you know, our ancestors 450,000 years ago, 200,000 years ago, the Homo sapiens sapiens. Now it takes up all the way to teenage years, and even more nowadays, in order for a human being, a baby, to be able to survive on their own. So you learn social codes and you inherit values from your caretaker, your environment, on what it takes to make it, to remain alive from your birth. As a little fragile, vulnerable human baby, you learn to adhere to value according to what you perceive that your caretakers sees as acceptable, so you can be taken care of. Technically, it means that one of our human deepest fear is that we don't feel enough, so we don't feel worthy of being accepted, of being loved. So that constant basic need software is running in the background of your unconscious awareness all the time. So with that understanding of this universal basic need since birth, now we can talk about the second part of today's topic. Now you might ask, okay, I get it when I'm a little child, but as you grow and you mature, why that feeling of inadequacy is still experiencing some shape or way or form? Very good question. But why that feeling can creep up on you when you least expect it? That is a perfect transition to what I share in the Quantum Law regarding the 3 drivers of your experience. So there are 3 practical drivers of your experience where the feeling of being inadequate gets its root from. First one is self-projection. It's based on the programming we discussed earlier, where you have doubts, you have insecurities, you have fears that shape up your personality, what you learn or what you want to unlearn from what you've seen from your caretaker. And the second driver is social conformity. Basically, those are the values, keeping up the Joneses. Here, this is driven because you compare yourself to your neighbor, to your peers, and even more, that's important here because you need to check your social surroundings. Check your social surroundings, because we can even extend to social media nowadays. Are the people in your circle, are those people toxic? Are those people supportive? Those people, do they put you down or do they uplift you? And the third driver is resources, which is money, which is time, which is energy. That's the third driver. And I don't have a whole time to discuss that here, but you can check out my earlier video where I talk about 3 drivers in the Quantum Law, right? Here is what you need to remember, which is at the basis of understanding one of the pillars of a quantum law. It's this: regardless of the practical drivers, what you are doing on an unconscious level is that you are comparing yourself with a reference, yes, an image of what the expectation of what the norm is. So you are comparing yourself with that image that you hold within you most of the time, unconsciously most of the time. And specifically, I have been there. And I don't know what it is for you, but for me, what comes up sometime as a first generation immigrant in the United States, the country where I spent most of my life, what I had to face still is a feeling of, do I belong? Do I fit in some environment still? So I don't know what it is for you. Maybe it's a pressure to excel in your career, or the fear of not meeting society's expectation. Or perhaps it's a constant comparison, others on social media. Maybe feeling like I'm not smart enough, I'm not talented enough, I'm not attractive enough, my body is not good enough, I'm not tall enough. Whatever it is for you, we've all faced feeling of being self-critical. So this is what you have to watch for, because that leads us to a third part of our topic for today. It's critical to understand why you struggle with not being enough. And this is my favorite part, because we're going to get into the core pillars of a quantum door and to understand some aspect of spirit performance coaching that is not in the mainstream. What do I mean? Not many people know about this, but we have entered a new era. It's an era of Homo triple sapiens, or the Homo sapiens sapiens sapiens. It's evolution of humanity consciousness. What is the difference of Homo triple sapiens versus our ancestor, the Homo double sapiens? It is evolution in awareness and the inherent third knowing, in which is grounded and rooted the Homo triple sapiens. How is it so? The term sapiens from Latin means to know or to be aware of. So the Homo triple sapiens is equipped with a knowing and a grounding, that third knowing, that third awareness, that I know more than I know that I know. I know more than I know that I know. With that grounding, the Homo triple sapiens understand another three fundamentals that I teach in the Quantum Door. First, that first fundamental is that in that human experience, I'm here to experience and to know more of my authentic divine self. And second, that knowing stems from understanding the core principle that existence is a reflection of essence, which is divine. And that leads us to that third pillar of a Homo triple sapiens. Since you didn't create yourself, when you are already whole and you are a miracle, a masterpiece in self, when you look at the probabilities of you being born among the billions of sperms that could have been, you realize with humility that you are perfect with your imperfection. Think about it. Your heartbeat, your breath, your lungs, how perfect it's functioning without you doing anything. You are divine and you are already perfect. And here is that new paradigm here. I need you to pay attention. That will change your perspective forever. Because if you understand what I'm going to share and you apply it in a disciplined and in a cohesive manner, it will change and empower you. So I want to repeat that it's important that you understand the magic of who you are, because you have a unique fingerprint that no one else on this planet, meaning you are a unique blueprint that no one else can feel or can replace on this planet, which means you are enough. But here is a duality that you need to understand in the human experience. Since existence is a reflection of your essence, and pay attention to this, existence is your spirit desire to express itself in the physical plane. The most important element to understand is that duality that exists because of a two dimension. The spirit dimension where your essence is, and the physical dimension your existence happen, where our five senses is. So in that way, your essence is that wholeness, like the picture of a finished puzzle. So experience in the physical plane is a piece or a part of a puzzle, and that needs to be differentiated from a whole. So that's where desire comes from, desire. And desire again stands from desire, which is from the Father, and ire, right? So from the Father. So what drives us is a need to feel that missing piece of a puzzle. And that's what creates the pull. That pull, that's what creates the magnet, which create and ignite the emotion, energy in motion, like an electron moving, the negative pole driving the motion. We need to fulfill that missing piece. So there is a projection from on the physical plane, reflected through your condition, that something is missing, that there is a lack through your conditions. So in your circumstances, there is a feeling of lack, that feeling of not being complete, that feeling of being incomplete, that is being generated so that you can start to move toward becoming. And that's where the word fulfillment comes from. to complete, to achieve, to realize, to implement. So you are filling up that missing piece of a puzzle, which in fact is just a projection and a reflection of that which you wanted to experience in the first place from your essence. I hope you can see it. And the practical evidence is this. If you're not enough, you will no longer exist. You will cease to exist. If you are still breathing, it means you are enough and you have something to contribute to. And really that's important, that paradigm here. That duality is important to understand because it's about understanding the different dimension, the different plane of operation, because it's that initial feeling of not being complete that is needed in order for you to be triggered to experience the desire of your spirit to be manifested. I hope you can see it. So by fulfilling your role, which started from you feeling imperfect, you are making the whole moment, the whole event perfect, which means you are perfect because you are accountable to your contribution in this planet. In that understanding, you come back to base. You come back to base, which is you need to know that you are whole. Otherwise, you will not be able to do this. So that is why the kryptonite to the feeling of being inadequate is self-love and accepting yourself, because you understand that duality, that you are perfect in your imperfection. And here is the thing, you are enough just as you are. You don't have to be perfect or have it all figured out. You just have to be yourself. Instead of focusing on what you are not, let's celebrate who you are. Let's embrace your strength, your quirks, and your imperfection, because it's those things that make you unique and valuable. So the next step, when you feel like you're not enough, remember this: you are worth, you are capable, and you are more than enough than just as you are. So this is a topic you can see I'm passionate about, as you can tell, but I want to be considerate of your time now. But I hope this serves you today and that you can use those performance nuggets. And if you want to continue this conversation with me, please sign up to our exclusive Performance Edge Wisdom community. Right here, the link is right there. And if you feel that you can share this with someone that really can benefit, please share that so they can subscribe. Or if you feel that you want to get access to more tips and relevant answers to your specific problems, you can submit them www.thequantumdo.com/video. And if you want to submit those questions that I can help address with, you can do that. Or if you have some non-disclosure agreement, you can also send email at support@thequantumdo.com. Do not forget, failure is a necessary prerequisite to human excellence. Till next time, live your truth. Coach Soul, out.